you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso with your first pup date out of Belladonna's puppies. So these are some cutie patooties. Super happy that Belladonna is such a top-notch mother. Absolutely top-notch mother. I would say she's my best mother so far. Truth be told, best mother so far. Velocity started off rough, but ended up doing really well. Cashmere's always been a good mother, but she's always had such huge litters that she would, inevitably you'd have to run in because she might lay on one. Belladonna always positions herself in the middle. From the moment she's had them, it's like she's had puppies before. She's just constantly watching them. I have zero complaints, absolutely zero complaints. Excellent milk supply, just a top notch mother. Okay. Absolutely love her. We did have a scary moment yesterday, which is why I didn't upload. I was really tired and, I didn't see as much discharge from her as I would like to see. And so, we took her to the vet in the morning and he gave her a shot of oxytocin. They did an x-ray just to make sure she didn't have any more puppies in there. And they did see that there was quite a bit of fluid still in her uterus. So what I did is I did some compressions around this area here to kind of help move the fluid out. And then in the evening, I noticed that she was panting pretty heavy. I did have the heat lamp on, which I have now turned off. And I don't know if it was fever or if it was just the heat lamp, but she did have a 103.1 temperature, which technically is a fever. So put her in a cold shower, spoke with my mentors. They said go ahead and give her a shot of oxytocin to help kind of move things along back there. So I did do that. My oxytocin came in, so I gave her a shot of oxytocin. And since then, the temperature has been gone. There's been no fever. I will say the vet did prescribe her antibiotics yesterday whenever we took her in the morning because of the fluid. And so she's been getting 1,000 milligrams of cephalexin every 12 hours. But other than that, she's, like I said, she's doing fine now. I did turn off the heat lamp. I spoke with one of my mentors, and she basically said that if I have my AC at 75, I won't need the heat lamp. So that's what I have done. That way I can kind of remove that external variable to make sure that her temperature spike had nothing to do with that. And so far everything's been good. We checked her temperature throughout the night as well as this morning, and it has remained consistent at about 102.1 to 102.4, which is not a fever. It's normal temperature for a dog. So very scary at first, but we got it through, and I will tell you what, it really pays. Go, Blondie, you're freaking her out. Go. It really pays to have mentors in this breed that are experienced and that you can trust, because I have always been able to kind of lean on them for information in a way that I'd never thought I would need. I had been a breeder before. I had whelped many litters, and I just wasn't prepared. Like Cane Corso are a whole nother level of difficulty of breeding. And there are other breeds that are like that. You know what I mean? There are breeds that are only, basically the breeders just do plain cesarean because of the difficulties involved in whelping litters from them. So this particular breed, I would say, isn't the highest risk. They're not bulldogs. They're not Frenchies. They're not a toy breed, but they are higher risk than most of your average breeds for sure. So your experience level has to be much higher, or you need to have some really rock solid mentors that have been doing this for a very long time. And I'm talking not people that just rush to the vet every time something goes wrong, because that can equally be bad. You know what I mean? It's incredibly stressful on the mother. I don't think that Velocity would have had such a rough time initially being a mother had she actually not been put in that environment. Not to mention, sorry, I don't like this puppy laying on the other one's neck. Not to mention that there are diseases and stuff. Usually when somebody is taking their dog to the emergency vet, they're typically very sick. So you're exposing the dog to sickness. So if there is any way that you can, figure out what's going on your own and fix it on your own, it's always better to do that. Anything that you can get that the vets would do, like for example, when I was speaking with my mentors about it, she basically told me, she's like, you've done everything that they would do. You know what I mean? They would give her a shot of oxytocin. They would put her on antibiotics. They would get the fever down, right? So we did all of those things. Now we just have to make sure that the antibiotics do their job. But literally that's all that any of us can do. So, like I said, having mentors is absolutely imperative. You have to have them. Until you've been doing it, 20, 30 years, and then you're the one giving advice to other people. You're the mentor. So, and that really correlates a lot with the situation that I had been dealing with right before she went into labor in regards to the people that purchased a dog from me that want to breed the dog without having to follow any of my contract obligations as far as health testing and titling the dog. I do believe that I've kind of covered all my bases on that. I had provided them with my health guarantee, which explicitly states all of the obligations for breeding rights. And while they did receive it after they picked up their puppy, simply because the papers were late getting in from AKC, they did receive it. They actually wrote in an email the date that they received it, which was almost 2 years ago now. And they've never, ever stated any kind of displeasure with it. They've had the papers that show that the breeding number was removed, and they've had those as well. They got it at the same time they get the health guarantee, and they've had absolutely no issue with it. So they haven't said anything to me about it, and we have been in communication since then. They've thanked me for the dog. So as far as I've researched with breeder friends of mine that have been doing this for a long time, that have had people try to pull similar things, admitting that they received the health guarantee and not having any kind of issue with it for that long is pretty much gonna nullify any kind of issue that they may have had. Having said that, I've spoken with some people. I'm not going to say anybody's names or anything like that, but I've spoken with some people about these particular people who actually know about them. And after speaking with them, I've decided that I am not even going to allow them the opportunity to earn the breeding rights. What I have done is I issued them a refund for the difference in price between full registration and limited registration. So at this point, I'm pulling the plug on it. I'm basically saying, no, you can't breed my dog. You know what I mean? I don't care what you do. We're not going down that road. And I've refunded them the money. Now, whether or not they choose to accept that money is up to them. I did send it to her PayPal, and I did notify her notified both of them by phone and by email. They've blocked me on social media, but they have every reason to know that they've received that refund. So I'm not at all worried about things on my end, because when they want to take me to court. And the thing about it is a judge doesn't care about the story. I've talked to people that have gone to small claims court. The judge does not care about what story is what story. They want to see damages. Where are your damages? And with me refunding them the money, they don't have any damages. Not to mention that they were always very clear with their purpose of the dog, which they've actually written in an email to me, that their only real purpose for the dog was for the dog to be a service dog. And that's exactly what they're saying that she is. And they're saying she's doing a great job at it. So as far as I'm concerned, I've met that obligation, which is actually really saying something, because as many people would know, Corso are not bred to be service dogs. So the fact that this dog is able to be a service dog, especially for somebody that has seizures, she has epilepsy, personally, I think it really goes very far. So having said that, one of the things that they stated in their email to me was that basically, I think was a guilt trip, was that basically because of all of this issue, all of a sudden now this individual is having a lot of seizures because of the fact that I am giving them a hard time about having to meet the obligations of my contract for having breeding rights. And what struck me about it is, like if people think that like if that is a stressful situation, then for sure and for certain they shouldn't be breeding dogs, because if stress causes an uptick in this girl's symptoms, as far as seizure activity is concerned, the last thing, I mean, if she thinks that that's hard, try whelping a litter of puppies. Nothing will make you more stressed out than going through the act of whelping a litter of puppies, especially when you have some issues. Okay, especially like last night when her fever went up, I was I was talking with Reese, and I was like, okay, like, am I going to need to be getting formula? Like, am I going to be like, because you can lose a female dog very easily. And if you don't believe me, go on any of the Facebook groups for whelping and stuff like that. There are people that talk about it, how they've lost their female. And most of the time, you really don't know it's coming. They just kind of crash and burn pretty quickly. Let me get this pup. Hold on, honey. There you go. There you go. And so anyway, so, having to get in here and, be literally manually, physically assisting with pulling puppies out is no joke. It is extremely stressful. Trying to revive a puppy that is born, not breathing is extremely stressful. Having that animal die or not being able to revive them is stressful. All of those things are incredibly stressful. Breeding dogs is not easy. And that's one of the things that I was really hoping that my channel would really show people, because there's so many people that have no respect for breeders. They think it's just easy. They think we just stick them in the backyard. I mean, some people do, don't get me wrong, but good breeders invest a lot of time, energy, and emotion into whelping litters of puppies for people to be able to have as loving members of their family. And hold on one second. There you go, honey. Whoop, there you go. And so anyway, so the idea that that an email, that a disagreement over a contract is causing this woman to have an uptick in seizure activity, the responsible thing to do would not be to breed the dog. Having nothing to do with the dog itself, the risks to the dog itself, just the act of breeding alone is incredibly stressful. And it sounds like this individual really has no business partaking in this activity, because it would be absolutely detrimental to her health. And so for me, as being a responsible breeder, I pulled the plug on it. When I read that email and I read her saying that, that she had an uptick in seizure activity, I was like, you know what? Like, this is a really bad situation just waiting to happen. And somebody's got to be the adult. Somebody has to be the mature one to say, okay, this can't happen. You know what I mean? Like, whether or not it's ethical to breed a service dog or not, at this point, with the information that I have available to me, I have to do the responsible thing and pull the plug on this. And so that's why I issued the refund, instead of just sticking to my guns and being like, no, you have to fulfill the obligation. I could have just literally kept the money and just been like, nope, you either do what I asked you to do. And I could have showed the judge the contract, could have showed them, look, they received the contract at this date by their own admission. They never said a word about it. We've talked since then. Now all of a sudden it's an issue, right? Like, I could have stuck to my guns and done that. But at this point, like I said, for me, I feel that the safest thing for me to do is just to refund them their money. That way it's no longer a discussion, and and it's just over. And if they choose to buy a dog from somebody else and breed that dog, and they learn the hard way that they shouldn't be doing this, then that's on them. But it won't be me contributing to it. And so that's kind of where it landed. But this whole situation with Belladonna really highlighted that for me, because I've always known how hard it is to breed dogs in general, mostly from a technical point, like knowing, you have to know a lot about structure. You have to know a lot about temperament. You have to know a lot about lines to be able to breed these dogs correctly and responsibly. And so, but having said that, even just the act of labor in itself is very tough. And And so I just want other people to know, not specifically them, but just in general, how important it is that that you not embark on this process willy-nilly. You know what I mean? You really need to have the ability to examine whether or not your life will permit this kind of time. Like I said, right now, I'm literally, Savannah could tell you, I'm room bound. One of us is with these puppies every minute of every day. We don't shower without one of us being in here. I normally sleep with like 3 different fans on because I get really hot when I sleep and the AC low. And me suffering because of it. And I mean suffering, it's hard for me. No fans on because I don't want any background noise to prevent me from hearing the puppies. We stay up very late. I do. That way we can kind of do a shift. So I'll stay up till about 4 a.m. Savannah sleeps, and then she has to wake up earlier so that I'm really only sleeping for, maybe 4 to 5 hours, literally with one eye open, before Savannah's up and it's her shift. Oh, the cutie. Cute little baby. Yep. This puppy right here I pulled out by hand. That puppy I saved.
It's for me.
I saved that puppy 100%, all me right there. Same thing with the last little glossy black one here. I saved her.
Brindle, right?
Yeah, black brindle. I saved her as well.
They don't look like brindle. They're so dark.
Yeah, they're so. No, don't take them off the.
Well, that one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Drinking, but you can
You barely see
Makes
any.
me wonder if it's even gonna stay there.
No, it'll stay there, and it may get more. But I will say that they look very black. They're not. They don't have near the brindling that their mother does. And they may, in fact, especially this one. I swore I saw some brindling on that one, but you really can't see it. She looks black.
That's the main.
So I didn't even mention that. Yeah, so I messed up on the genders. We actually do have a male. This fawn one here is a male. I guess I just, with all the stress of having because he came right after we lost the first one, which was also a male. And I don't think that I was more concerned about whether the puppy was breathing, less concerned about the gender. And I just kind of looked. So it's actually the second time. I did that with Blondie's litter too, I think. But no, it was Cashmere's. But nonetheless, we have 1 male, 4 females, plus the 1 male that passed away. So we ended up with 2 males, 4 females.
He's pretty small considering all the females.
Yeah, he's not very big. I will say that. He's actually the smallest.
She's such a good mom.
Yeah, phenomenal mother. Absolutely phenomenal mother. So I did let the guy that has first pick male know. I am going to kind of give him the option to move to a different litter. He, for me personally, it's beneficial because we kind of worked out a deal where I would retain breeding rights on the dog. And so, because he's local. And so it's in both of our best interests to kind of wait on a different dog. But I did give him the option nonetheless. If he doesn't take it, second pick male, well then, then they'll have the puppy because there was no prior agreement with them.
She's cleaning them all up. Right?
Yep, she's cleaning them up. So nonetheless, that's kind of where we're at. Like I said, I just wanted to really kind of take the opportunity to really talk about that. To really, I know a lot of people didn't stick around for the whole live stream, but excuse me, this was a very, very tumultuous litter experience. It was extremely stressful to the point where I think I even cut off the video at one point. I was kind of emotional myself during that time. I think some people could tell I was very depressed because of the puppy that I lost.
10 a.m. maybe?
Oh, we did not sleep that night. We did not sleep that night. We did not. We got home from the vet. The vet wouldn't see us till 9:30. We got home. I was on the phone with Reese for a bit. We probably went to bed at around, cleaned up a bit. We probably went to bed at around 11 and then woke up around 4. So,
I woke up at 6.
I let Savannah sleep. I woke up at 4. So anyway, it is more stressful than anything I've ever done. I will tell you that right now. There is nothing. I've raised a daughter and it wasn't as stressful as whelping and raising puppies. That's the God's honest truth. Savannah was simple. You know what I mean? I could tell by her cry what she needed. You know what I mean? Were the eyes red and puffy? Were they scratching their eye, rubbing their eyes? Boom, they need to go to sleep. You could tell the certain cry whenever they just have a dirty diaper. Clean it, boom, nothing but smiles. You know what I mean? If she's hungry, boom, feed her, done, good, sleep, whatever. Like, very, very easy thing to do. Like, I will say maybe whenever she was 12 and she hit that kind of like, I'm going to do what I want phase, that was probably pretty stressful. But it was like over, when it's over, it's over. With litters of puppies, you go through it, constantly, right? Every time you have a litter of puppies, you go through it. So it is not as easy as people like to pretend it is. It is not something, I see him. It is not something to be taken lightly. Reese is what I was talking about on that rear angulation, girl. I told you, you can see it.
Look at that puppy. Boogie.
We used to believe you couldn't see rear angulation on puppies this young, but I can tell you from seeing Pascal, who he doesn't have the best rear angulation, that you absolutely can tell. Yeah, he is an intense looking dog. I got a picture.
He's scary looking.
Yeah, I got a picture. He looks like a little demon dog, man.
He is young.
And I mean, he's got tree trunks for legs. It's ridiculous.
Face is like, I will hurt you.
Yeah, he does. Like, that is not a dog. When he's grown, he's going to be the kind of dog that people are scared to pet.
They're like, I'll go the other way.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. But
is he nice? Does he bite?
Yeah, are you sure? But nonetheless, yeah, I just really wanted to stress that after having such a difficult time with this labor and also with velocities before, and then Cashmere's before that, it is just not the easiest thing. And sometimes it just happens. Like I said, my mentors have talked to me. This stuff just happens. It's not, a lot of people want to look for a reason, a cause. They'll say, oh, well, is it the female? Is it this? Is it that? No, it's labor. That's what it is. It's just labor. Some are difficult, some are not. That's just how it works.
Even humans sometimes.
Yeah, and you never know what's going to happen. You just don't know. And so if you're not prepared to go through that, then I really don't suggest it to anybody. If you think for a second that you're just going to breed your dog and you don't have to have any money put away, like, I'm telling you, at the minimum, you need to have $3,900 tucked away every time you have a litter of puppies. Because if you need a cesarean, most females whelp in the middle of the night, okay? You're going to be going to an emergency vet. And I've never seen an emergency vet that costs less than $3,900 for an emergency cesarean, all right? So at the minimum, you need to have $3,900 sitting away, ready to go in case you need to run to the emergency vet and sign on that dotted line. And if you don't have that money set aside, you have absolutely no business whelping a litter of puppies, because you're putting their life in danger, you're putting the mother's life in danger, and that's absolutely irresponsible, and it's not okay. And selfish. Yeah, it's selfish. Yeah. You don't take risks like that. So this is not a gambler's game. And I just really wish that a lot of people understood that. So, having said that, all the puppies are spoken for in this litter. All 4 females are reserved. One of them I will be keeping for myself. I don't know which one yet. Obviously I really like, I really like what almost looks like a black female there. She's just been, yep, there's the boy. She's just been super muscly through the whole thing. She just looks like a powerhouse. The second biggest female I would say is the Formentino female. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't love the color, but I don't know, put the puppy down then. I don't know if her, what her structure is going to look like. You know what I mean? They're just way too young to tell right now.
Look at that tail.
Mm-hmm. So nonetheless, that's just, like I said, that's where we're at. That's what's going on. I wanted to give you guys an update or a pup date on the babies. I really hope that you guys are doing great. And I want to personally say thank you to everybody who was supporting us, who was watching, who donated. It means the most. Yeah, it helps a lot. We didn't end up spending as much as we did with Cashmere's last litter or with Cashmere and Velocity, because both of them we went to the emergency vet and we were looking at a little over $600 for each one of those. But with the vet visit afterwards, and with the oxytocin I had to purchase, stuff like that, all the bedding and stuff like that, it helps. You know what I mean? It absolutely helps. Are we prepared to do it on our own? Absolutely. But you know what? You guys supporting us helps. and it makes it less of a financial drain for us to be able to do this, and it's just very much appreciated. So yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoyed the live stream. I hope that you enjoyed learning.
Blondie's on the other side. She does not like that.
Yep.
Blondie's sniffing on the other side.
Yep. I hope that you guys learned something from it. And if there's any time that I can do something to help, as far as like encouraging people to not breed their dog if they really aren't, ready to go, into it full stream. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about people that really want to start a program and dedicate their life to the breed. I'm talking if you're just trying to have a litter of puppies, please just don't. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. Are you prepared to lose your dog? That's what it really comes down to, because it is a sacrifice that these dogs do to be able to maintain the breed for hundreds and hopefully thousands of years to come. Right? There have to be good dogs that go through this process for everybody else to be able to have theirs, and for there to be more and more in the future. But
if you have puppy fever, go to a shelter and play with puppies.
Yeah, if you have puppy fever, exactly. Go to a shelter, go play with puppies, or heck, find a breeder near you and try to offer to help them. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to put it. I really try very hard to encourage people not to do this, and I also try to encourage people that I think would be good at it and would do it the right way to do it. You know what I mean? I've actually tried to talk people into being breeders before. And funny enough, they're the hardest ones. You know what I mean? The people that have the dedication and the know-how and the passion oftentimes get turned away by all of the negativity in the community. It's one of those typical things where all the good people, they just don't want to put up with it because all the bad people ruin it for everybody else. But I have been known to try to push people into it. There was a woman that I even tried to offer a free dog just to help kind of get her into it, because she was a horse breeder. She was a local congresswoman and was pushing against a lot of the animal rights organizations and stuff like that. And I just really felt that with her knowledge that she would be a great asset. But like I said, it's hard to find people that have all those skills, but then also don't mind dealing with all the bull crap involved in the breeding community. So
Mom usually stays away from
yeah, I stay away from it all. I'm not in on any groups. I know that people talk mess about me. I don't care. I don't involve myself with it. I know that I'm doing the best that I can, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Other people, and I learned this from, we were talking about this guy in the live stream, but it's like Goth Reacts. I forget his name.
Monroe.
Jake Monroe. Okay. It took me a little bit to warm up to him because he's quite the character, but, I like the guy. And one of the things that he says, which was a big life changer for him mentally, which I actually embraced, was he basically says is that I don't need you to believe that I can do something for me to be able to do it. Right? So I don't need my haters to believe that I'm a good breeder for me to be a good breeder. They don't have to agree. And as I grew up with the saying of some things are true whether you believe it or not. You know what I mean? And my haters don't have to believe that I'm a good breeder. I know that I am. You know what I mean? I know that I am. I know what my intentions are. I know that my sacrifices, and I know what I do on a daily basis. And that's all I need to know.
We don't leave the house for like weeks on end.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, like when we have puppies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
here.
Like I buy groceries for in advance.
It'll probably be easier once I can drive, and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to the grocery store.
Yeah, I've paid people to come and watch my puppies for me just so that I could go grocery shopping. You know what I mean? Family, friends, things like that, where I'm just like, look, I don't need you to really do anything. Just make sure she doesn't lay on a puppy, and I'll be back, and I'll go and run any errands that I need to at the time. But
only problem is sometimes the females don't like other people.
Yeah. Some, like the last time it was Blondie, and the guy was like, well, he's like, I mean, luckily nothing happened. He's like, but I just sat here because anytime I moved, she growled at me. And it's like, you know what? Like, it's fine. I get it.
She really only likes Mom touching her puppies. And like, even then, she got out earlier today and tried to grab one of the puppies from her.
Yeah, Belladonna is by far the best mother we've had so far. So anyway, this video has gone on long enough. But I just really kind of wanted to... What in the world is that?
Somebody probably got their foot stuck.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they'll get their toe stuck in the kennel. It's only like when they're sleeping, they think it's stuck, and then they move and they're fine.
Like, oh, I'm fine.
But nonetheless, yeah, everybody's put up right now, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm dedicating my time to the puppies, to their mother, and any dog that I can't trust to be out that needs supervision is put up. So the puppies are put up right now. Blondie's out, Batista's out, Preacher's out, Velocity's out. All those dogs are out. The other dogs will get some time out, don't get me wrong, but just day to day, yeah, they're put up right now. So anyway, yeah, I've rambled on enough. Sorry. Like I said, hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.